Situation at the Melpadi village in Viluppuram has been tense for the last couple of weeks. In April, it was seen that during the temple festival, members of the SC community had wanted access into this temple where I'm currently standing outside. This is called the Draupadi Amman temple and this is located at Melpadi village in Viluppuram. And what had happened is that for many generations, it's seen that only the one-year community members have been having access to this temple. And recently, when members of the SC community also wanted to go in and give their offerings to the deity, it was seen that it was met with a lot of resistance. And further to that, we've seen that a lot of clashes has happened between the SC community members and also these members of the one-year community. And now it has escalated to such an extent that this temple has been sealed by the revenue officials on Wednesday this week. And it is also seen that members of both the communities have been having several peace talks which has been initiated by both the district collectors as well as the revenue department officials, but unfortunately there has not been a solution that has been arrived at. The locals here have been saying that this temple has been taken care by the members of the one-year community for a really long time, and they are the ones who are running the temple, and for them their belief is that people from outside their community are not to be permitted inside. But at a situation like this where a country is moving forward, to see people not being given access to public places like a temple is shocking, and that too coming from a progressive state like Tamil Nadu. On the final day of the Sri Dharmaraj Draupadi Amman temple festival, villagers had just finished the ritual of walking on fired coal when a 21-year-old Dalit man, Kadravan, entered. That was 7th April, and Melpadi village has not been the same since. The temple is sealed shut, the region in Tamil Nadu's Viluppuram municipality heavily fortified by the police. For over the last 200 to 250 years since the temple was built, members of the scheduled caste have always been prohibited from entering the temple. Members of the community can offer their prayers to the temple deity on a designated day in an annual 10-day festival at the temple, but only from outside. The 7 decades old legislation, the Tamil Nadu Temple Entry Authorisation Act of 1947, authorizes the entry of all Hindu castes and classes to enter Hindu temples and offer their worship without any discrimination. In Tamil Nadu, more than 5 of the 7 decades, Tamil Nadu has been governed by parties espousing the Dravidian ideology, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam and the All India Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, the focal point of which is social justice. Yet, in the last 5 months itself, there have been at least 4 such cases where members of the scheduled caste were denied entry into Hindu temples or had to forcibly enter. The narrow road leading to the Melpadi village has been blocked with multiple barricades and police checkpoints between the lush green agricultural lands on either side. The Sri Dharmaraj Draupadi Amman temple, now controversial and under heavy police protection, is almost like an unofficial entry point to the village. The temple's main entrance facing the east almost gives an impression as if the deity inside is watching over Melpadi's prowl before it. There are about 250 families who live in the village, a majority of them being either Gounders, an economically and politically dominant caste, and the Adi Dravidars, the scheduled caste. 73-year-old P. Sita Raman, the Dharmakarta or the supervisor of the temple who lives a short 5 minutes walk from the temple, wants to avoid speaking on the recent controversy and added that he has been avoiding visitors since the temple was sealed. For the last 3 generations, Sita Raman and his ancestors have been taking care of the temple affairs.
திரௌபதி யாகத்தில் பிறந்தது. இவங்க இந்த கோயில் ஏற்கனவே செஞ்சியிலேருந்து ஏதோ இங்கே கட்டியிருக்காங்க. செஞ்சி சமயத்துலேருந்து இந்த கோயிலை நிர்ணயம் பண்ணி செஞ்சி சமயத்துலேருந்து ஏதோ எடுத்துன்னு அங்கேருந்து எடுத்துன்னு இங்கே இந்த ஊரில் இந்த கோயிலை ஸ்தாபனம் பண்ணி கட்டி அதுலேருந்து இதுக்கு இந்த பங்குனி மாதம் பங்குனி உத்திரம் வருது இல்லைங்களா, உத்திரத்தும் போது ஒரு 10 நாளைக்கு திருவிழா, நெருப்பு திருவிழா, தேர் திருவிழா எல்லாம் விமர்சையாக பண்ணுறது, அரவம் 8 9 நாளைக்கு கூத்து வைக்கிறது எல்லாம் இந்த தெரு எல்லாம் இது செலவு பண்ணுறது பூரா அந்த 8 பங்கு உபயதாரர் தான். மற்றபடி வெளியில் யார்கிட்டையும் வாங்க மாட்டாங்க. இந்த ஊரில் ஒரு 8 பங்கு உபயதாரர் இருக்காங்க. அந்த உபயதாரர் தான் இந்த எல்லா செலவும் பண்ணுவாங்க. மற்றபடி யார்கிட்டையும் வெளியில் ₹1 வாங்குறது.
The 9 Ubayadaras caretakers, all belonging to the Vaniyar community who claim the temple to be their ancestor tutelary deity. The Vaniyars are a subsect of the Gounders. The temple has two important festivals, one called the Dharmaraja festival that happens once every 60 years and another yearly 10 days temple festival. It was during this temple festival that Kadiravan tried to enter, sparking unrest in the village. As per the village's tradition, each of the 9 caretakers communities of the temple are given the right to perform the ritual and bring the deity out of the temple for procession. The 7th day of the festival is for the Adi Dravidars to offer their prayers, but without entering the temple or performing any rituals. Sitting in the veranda of his modest house with worn-out white walls, 52-year-old M. Vetrivel described his version of the events that panned out on April 7th.
அந்த 9 நாள் திருவிழா நடந்த அந்த 9வது நாள் தீமிதி திருவிழா அன்னைக்கு அவர் கதிரவன்றவர் சாமி கும்பிட உள்ளே போயிருக்காரு. உள்ளே கும்பிட போகும்போது அவங்கள வந்து மறிச்சிருக்காங்க. சாமி கும்பிட போகணும்னு மறிச்சிருக்காங்க. ஜாதி பேரை சொல்லி திட்டி அவரை மறிச்சிருக்காங்க. அவரை அடிக்க முற்பட்ட போது அவங்க அப்பா வந்திருக்காரு. அவங்க அப்பாவும் வந்து எந்த தவறாக இருந்தாலும் நாங்கள் வந்து காலையில் சொல்கிறோம், இப்போ விட்டுடுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காரு. அதுக்கு அவங்க விடலை. அவரையும் தாக்கியிருக்காங்க. அவங்க மனைவி வந்தாங்க, அவங்க மனைவியும் தாக்கியிருக்காங்க. இதுதான் நடந்தது. அங்கே அன்னைய டைம் நடந்தது. உடனே நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, ரோட்டில் போய் சாலை மறியல் அன்னைக்கு. அதுக்கப்புறம் எஸ்பி டிஎஸ்பி ஆடியோலாம் வந்தாங்க. அவங்கெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு சரி உங்களுக்கு உரிய நடவடிக்கை எடுக்கிறோம், நாங்கள் கோயிலுக்கு போகிறதுக்கு அனுமதி வாங்கி தரோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கலைஞ்சிப்போங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க.
Villagers in Melpadi speaking to the prince said they collect close to rupees 1 lakh and pay for the 7-day festivity. But they're not allowed inside the temple or even allowed close to the deity when it is brought out for procession around the village.
இது 7ஆம் நாள் திருவிழா வந்து எங்களுக்குன்னு ஒரு உபயம் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. நாங்கள் வரி கொடுக்குறோம். வரி கொடுக்குற நாங்கள் கோயிலுக்குள்ளே போய் சாமி கும்பிடணும்னு நினைக்கிறது தவறா? அது கரெக்டு தானுங்களே. அந்த ஆசையினால தான் அவர் சரி நம்ம வரி கொடுக்குறோம், நம்ம போய் சாமி கும்பிட்டு வந்துடும்னு போனது தான். வேறு எதுவும் அதுதான் ஆசை, வேறு எல்லாருக்கும் அதுதான் ஆசை. ஆனால் அது உள்ளே போனால் ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம் வரும் அப்படின்றதுனால யாரும் உள்ளே போகலை.
Last year, during the Dharmaraja festival, hundreds of people from the neighboring villages and districts had come to the Melpadi temple. At that time, everyone except for those who live in this colony were allowed inside. The official complaint filed by the Adi Dravida community members says that 3 youths belonging to the scheduled caste community, including Kadiravan, were beaten up by the Vaniyars. For over the last 60 days, despite official intervention by collector, superintendent of police, deputy superintendent of police, revenue officials, MP, MLA, and even the local panchayat leader, the Gounders and Adi Dravidars have not managed to broker peace.
So initially, RDO was conducted 4-5 peace talks, and then I conducted 2 peace talks. By the time I complete the peace talk to second peace talk, they agreed. They understood what is a legal issue. So they also, earlier they were all very friendly and are going well. So they also agreed that, sir, we will go amicably and we together will sit and talk and we'll take them to a temple on a particular day. That was they conveyed. So we allowed them to take the decision without it, so that issue will not be there. They will be very peaceful and they can live as earlier what they have lived. But later on, when they went inside village, they discussed with village other people. There were some people who objected that. So that's what they said back. You can back and said. That's why there is a delay from they went back to their stand.
On June 7th, after the two communities did not come to a common consensus, District Revenue Divisional Officer S. Ravichandran imposed Section 145 of CRPC, a preventive measure to ensure there is no law and order situation between the two communities. Ravichandran further ordered the temple to be sealed and brought in a police force of nearly 2,000 to patrol the village.
Yes, almost 78 people. Okay. So both sides. So they all asked to present their views and all documents, everything. That's reality.
On June 9, the Vidudalai Sirthigal Katchi, VCK, Congress, the Communist Party of India, the Communist Party of India Marxist and the Dravidar Karagam led a protest march in Chennai after the Viluppuram temple was sealed. They demanded action against those involved in the caste-based discrimination. In villages like Melpadi, where caste-based discrimination has been followed, there has been little knowledge about the legal consequences and there is a dire need for sensitizing the people on the issue, said Viluppuram DMK MP D. Ravi Kumar.
In peace talks, the people, the village people, they talk openly against Dalits. They told before camera, before all the officers, and DIG was there, SP was there, district collector was there, 3 MLAs were there, and myself was there. But they were telling, we do not allow the people. If we allow them, they may touch us.
ஆமாம், உள்ளே வர்றதுக்கு ஆரம்பித்தாங்கனாக்கா அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க சாமி தூக்குறதுக்கு வருவாங்க. வேறு எங்கள் மேலே அவங்க அப்புறம் டச் பண்ண வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலை வரும், இடிக்க வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலை வரும். இதெல்லாம் வரக்கூடாதுன்றதுக்காக அந்த தீண்டாமையை பயன்படுத்தி தான் அவங்க என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, உள்ளே வரக்கூடாது. ஒரே காரணம் அதுதான்.
The Vaniyars, meanwhile, claimed that the FIR filed by members of the scheduled castes against 18 members of the Vaniyar community is fake.
இல்லை, 18 பேர் அடிச்சிருந்தா உயிரோட வைப்பாப்பு இல்லையா? 18 பேர் மேலே கேஸ் பண்ண 18 பேரும் கிட்டத்தட்ட 30 வயசுக்கு மேலே ஆகுங்க. அதில் ஒரு சிலர் ஆளே இல்லை, இறந்துட்டு அவங்க பேரெல்லாம் கேஸ் போட்டு ஒரு பொய்யான கேஸ் கொடுத்து.
The Vaniyars have been asserting that this temple is a private place of worship. Dayanidhi, who belongs to the family of the Ubayadaras responsible for the 6th day of festivities of the temple's 10-day festival, insists that there are documents to prove that this is a private temple.
இது வந்து சின்னசாமி நாராயணன் சொன்ன பெருமாளுக்கு மற்ற வகையாக இந்த ரோட்டுக்கு அண்டாண்ட மதுரான்னு சொல்லுவோம், அவங்க வந்து எழுதி கொடுத்த நிலந்தத்தில் தான் இந்த வீடு கட்டி அந்த கோயில் 60 சென்டில் கட்டியிருக்கு. இது வந்து முழுக்க இது வந்து தனியார் கோவில். அதுக்கான ஃபுல் அத்தாட்சியும் நம்மகிட்ட பத்திரமாவே இருக்கு. 1901 எழுதி கொடுத்தாங்க இந்த மாதிரி. அதுக்கப்புறம் 1901 எழுதி கொடுத்தாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி இந்த கோயில் வந்து இவங்க தான் நிர்வகிக்கணும், இவங்க தான் பார்க்கணும், இவங்களுக்கு தான் திருவிழா இருக்குது, இந்த 8 பங்குதாரர் தான் பண்ணணும். இப்போ அவங்களுடைய வாரிசு தான் அதை எல்லாமே பார்த்துட்டு வராங்க. நானும் அதில் ஒரு பங்குதாரர் தான், 8வது வாரிசு தலைவர் எல்லாருமே ஒரு பங்குதாரர் தான். அது இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு வரும்போது 6ஆம் திருவிழா உபயதாரர் நாங்கள். இது
Last month, when representatives of the scheduled caste from the village brought the issue to the doorsteps of the state's higher education minister, K. Ponmudi, he said the temple fell under the state-owned Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowment Board and assured them of equal access to the temple. The Vaniyars and other Gounders, however, protested against the minister by throwing their ration card, voter ID and Aadhaar cards outside the temple. District Collector Palani said there are 2 issues to sort, one with regard to the ownership of the temple and the second about the entry of the Dalits in the temple. Meanwhile, the dominant caste Hindus have filed a case in Madras High Court asserting their right over the temple. The HRNC's list of temples under its control mentions the Sri Dharmaraja Draupadi Amman temple as being under the department's control since 1978. But the Vaniyars from the village say that in the 45 years since the HRNC claimed its hold on the temple, it has neither appointed any trustees nor undertaken any maintenance work for the structure. MP Ravi Kumar says that's no basis for caste discrimination.
43,000 temples are under RNC. Only 480 temples, I think. They appointed trustees only for that number of temples only. If they appoint a trustee, they have to appoint one Adi Dravada, one woman as trustees. The act amended by late Kalangir Karunanidhi, as a pioneer in democratizing temple in Tamil Nadu. He only brought the amendment appointing Adi Dravada and women as trustees. And he only brought the act appointing all caste people as Archakas in 72 itself. So more than 50 years ago. He was a pioneer in democratizing the temples. So this is a centenary year of Kalangir. The government should come forward to democratize the temple. Otherwise, the Sanatana forces who are working overtime to capture the temples will succeed in their aim.
The Melpadi incident is the fourth in the series of temple protests in the last 5 months. In January, about 250 members of the Dalit community entered the 200-year-old Sri Varadaraja Perumal temple in Kallakurchi district for the first time. The same month in Tiruvannamalai, Dalit community members entered the Sri Muttalamman temple for the first time in the 70 years since the temple's construction. Then in April, revenue officials had to seal the Malai Mariamman temple near Pudukkottai in Thanjavur district after locals refused entry to Dalits inside the temple. At Melpadi, in the place where the Adi Dravida community members are predominantly staying, which is called the colony, we're seeing that there is a police protection which has been put into place. Police officials are sitting on guard here, and we've been told that most of the individuals in this location have been told to stay indoors. Section 145 has been put into place, which means many people cannot join together and be meeting at one location. So that kind of a restriction has been brought into place because of the kind of tense situation that we have been seeing here. So for days together, almost 60 days, we're seeing that there has been a demand by the members of the Adi Dravidar community to gain access into the temple that is called the Draupadi Amman temple in Melpadi. But a certain community has been denying this permission to the Adi Dravidar, and talks have been going on by the revenue department officials, by the collector, by the SP, and even MP, MLAs of the district have been trying to come forward and continue a peace conversation with the two communities. But unfortunately, a solution has not been reached. On Friday, there will be a meeting wherein the members of different communities, close to 78 people, we have been told by the collector, have been called in to give their representation to the revenue officials. And yes, this temple, the Tamil Nadu HRNC has been stating that is under them, which means that everybody has equal rights to enter. And most of the people have been continuously saying that temple is a public place and nobody can set a restriction to it, even if it is a family temple of a few people. So a temple comes under a location of public entity, which is something that everybody can have access to, and denial of permission to a certain community based on their caste or their beliefs, this kind of a prejudice is not acceptable and is a legally punishable offense. So we need to wait and watch as to what will be the next course of action. But in Melpadi village that we are currently standing at, the situation is tense, and we're seeing that to ensure law and order situation is in place, police officials have been put on deployment. From Melpadi in Viluppuram, I'm Akshaya Nath, Senior Assistant Editor for The Print.